Hey, it's Kish,
And it's Roland here.
and we're from Porygon Tube, and today we will be bringing you action from the Box Hill League Challenge, which took place a little while ago. A huge shout out to the Box Hill Good Games store. They did a fantastic job running the event. It's probably one of the smoothest events we've actually ever had in Australia. It was really well run, and shout out to David and Rosario, who were judges on the day and did a fantastic job. So interestingly enough, because this event was run after work hours, so sort of from 6 to 12 at night, the rounds were only 45 minutes best of three. So Roland, it's a good day to tie hard.
Yes, we got plenty more where that came from. Yeah, we have an interesting matchup here. So we have Joseph with a pretty unique sort of deck. You don't see many Raikou Electrode decks. It's something that's kind of on the periphery of the metagame. Some people will have heard of it, but most people probably haven't played against it in an event. And then on the left we have Rainbow Road, which is a pretty sort of well-established deck. Being played by Emma. So it would be interesting to see exactly what she plays in that list. But Rainbow Road, the skeleton of the deck is pretty familiar. So just on the Raikou Electrode side. So the idea is that Electrode, you sort of blow it up. That's what Electrode does. That's what it's always done. That's what it's known for. And so, it counts as a knockout. So for your opponent, so they get to take a prize when you knock it out. And so you might think, how is this possibly good? How is this even passable as a card when you're giving your opponent a free prize? Well, what it does is then you can attach it as a special energy that counts as 2 lightning energy. So you can attach it to one of your lightning Pokemon. And so what that does is it gives you energy acceleration. It allows you to attack really quickly with cards like Raikou and Jolteon. So 2 very strong basic attackers. And then in addition to that, what you have is cards like Ace Trainer, which you can use to sort of kind of abuse the fact that you're giving your opponent a prize. And Ace Training your opponent to 3 on the second turn can be very disruptive. It's like an end late game, but it's actually early on. And that can be very disruptive. So we see, Joseph starting off going first, wasn't really able to get heaps, but of course, he doesn't really need a Raikou down necessarily on the first turn, or a Jolteon, or whatever he wants to attack with. And it would be interesting to see which one he does focus on in this game, because of course Jolteon can prevent damage done to it by basic Pokemon. Because of course, next turn he can evolve to Electrode, blow it up, attach it to a Raikou or a Jolteon that he's just played down, attach an energy, and attack with it. He also plays Max Elixirs, so he plays around say 12 basic energy in his deck. So something like that. Don't quote me on that. So and then that means you get a lot of mileage out of Max Elixir. So you're getting energies from attachments from hand, Max Elixir, and Electrode, and so you can. And using Raikou's attack, which does more damage than the lightning energy you've got to it, you can either sort of hit for big damage there, or you can kind of wall with Jolteon.
So it's going to be a really interesting matchup here. As you said, Rainbow Road relies heavily on knocking out EXs, so it's not really going to like having to attack into a Raikou, which just gives up 1 prize. And you feel like Joseph's just going to win that trade if a Xerneas is hitting into a Raikou the whole time, because of course Joseph is able probably to power up more Raikous than Emma would be able to power up Xerneas. So Emma has a reasonable start. She's attached the Floatstone to the Genesect, which is really nice because she has access to that Floatstone whenever she wants, thanks to Genesect's Drive Change ability, which lets you put a tool back into your hand, which is attached to the Genesect, and she just passes. And we see Joseph going straight for a Jolteon here. Of course, Rainbow Road's only real attacker is the Xerneas from Breakthrough. So that is a basic Pokemon, so Jolteon's Flash Ray will block all damage from that. Emma does have the option to use Galvantula at some point with a double thread, but we see Joseph just taking care of that straight away with the Swift. So reasonable turn from Joseph, not too great.
Perhaps the lesser known attack of Jolteon. So with just 1 lightning, you can do 30 damage, and that's enough.
It's interesting that he chose to expose his Jolteon, because simply now a double colorless, and Emma's already got 5 types there, thanks to the double type from Volcanion.
Or she only have 4
types,
at the moment.
Sorry.
But with the Skyfield in play, you can have as many as practically as many as you would want.
So she actually only needs 1 more type to knock out. Does that Jolteon have
Fighting Fury Belt?
Right.
So
okay, so
need,
she'll need 7
doable.
types in total.
Absolutely doable.
So definitely doable, especially with Hooper EX, which I'm sure she'll be Ultra Balling for here if she plays it.
It's interesting also to note sort of these basics are meant for their type, but they also serve other roles. So it's interesting. So we see Genesect. So that has the drive changeability, which means you can pick up tools attached to it. Some lists you see to satisfy their metal Pokemon, they play Jirachi.
Yeah.
Interesting that we see Genesect here. You know, it definitely has advantages. And yeah, so then of course you've got obviously the cards that are for 2 types, like Volcanion, so obviously you're not going to use Steam up for its attack, so purely used for the types. But yeah, so it's interesting to see the ones which are used not just for their type, but also for their ability.
Yeah, it's interesting that she chose to go for a Shaman EX. I wonder if her Hooper is prized, which would be very unfortunate from her point of view, because that really is the main Pokemon you're looking for when you Ultra Ball the first time with Rainbow Road. And she actually is just going to hit for what's that? So she's got 5 types, so 160.
Yeah, she's got an Ultra Ball in her hand. Yeah, probably because 190 is not going to quite do it. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, so probably, and then probably doesn't have another Shaman to Ultra Ball.
Yeah, so that's quite
might not play Hooper, or could be surprised. We don't know. So, Jolteon, that's a close shave.
Yeah, that is a very close shave.
From that, because if that got knocked out, he could respond, but he'd have to blow up an Electrode. Yeah. Although he probably will actually at the moment. But yeah, essentially 2 prizes, knocking out a Jolteon.
Yeah,
it's really, really good if you could do it.
So really a missed opportunity there from Emma's point of view, and probably Joseph's just going to flash right here. He might be digging for that Electrode to use the Bazap Thunder ability and blow it up to get 2 more energy onto the active Jolteon so he can flash ray. So he actually has 6 prizes on his board. The 160 is quite unfortunate from Emma's point of view. She could have at some point set up a knockout with a double thread from a Galvantula.
Yeah, Galvantula.
If she just managed to do 10 more damage with, say, a Fighting Fury Belt or something like that.
Yeah, that is really the unsung hero of Rainbow Road. Yeah. Being able to do 30 damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon and actually count weakness and resistance, which is sort of an unusual clause. You tend to see basically all attacks that do damage to the bench don't have that. But of course, Shaman's weak to lightning.
Yeah.
So you could set up a nice play where you could say knock out a Jolteon on the bench.
Yeah.
And then set up a Shaman to be knocked out by another double thread. But unfortunately, again, that Jolteon has 40 HP left.
Yeah.
So that's
that's just out of range.
Just out of range.
So we see Joseph does use the Bazap Thunder ability. Blow up. Did Emma take a prize there? I didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, and
she must have.
Interesting. Yeah, Joseph playing an enhanced hammer. That's an interesting tech that he plays.
Yeah.
There's a lot of special energy going around.
And he just
not least of all his.
So, of course, now thanks to Flash Ray, that active Jolteon is protected from any damage from basic Pokemon. So, Emma probably wants to dig for a Lysander. She'll of course need a double colorless as well to be able to continue attacking.
I think she has a Lysander in her hand. Yeah, so she'll be able to get 2 prizes. That the Jolteon that got away.
Right.
Might not be able to get away for much longer.
But unfortunately, she has no backup attacker. She doesn't have another Xerneas. So...
Yeah, so might not play it in favour of another supporter, possibly.
And that Silent Lab from Joseph's side is huge here. That's going to block any abilities. So Shaman EX, Hooper EX, they can't use any abilities. And Rainbow Road really relies on digging through its deck to find all its resources to be able to continue attacking.
And just importantly, it just counts as a counter setting to Skyfield. So Skyfield's one of the ways that you see Rainbow Road get a lot of basics. Even with the double types, sometimes if you're restricted to 5, you might not be able to get enough types on the board for it to count. So, say for instance, right now, so she'd have 6 types on the board. That'd be doing 190 damage. That wouldn't be enough to knock out a fresh Jolteon with a Fighting Fury Belt.
Yeah. So she actually chooses to Lysander the Shaman, and she max looks and whiffs, and she only has 1 card in hand. So I'm not quite sure what that 1 card is, but it's probably not anything too useful. Otherwise, she would have played it down.
Yeah, so I think using the Lysander to hopefully stall, but it's not going to be difficult for Joseph to just attack the energy and retreat.
Simply 1 energy to retreat, and now we see the energy. So,
yeah. So I mean, short term things aren't looking very good. Longer term, it's going to be interesting. So, say if Emma draws out of this, it's probably in a bit of a rut at the moment.
Yeah.
Does she have like Pokemon Ranger or cards that can actually knock out Jolteon?
Yeah.
After it's used Flash Ray, because if you can't, there just aren't enough prizes on the board. Well, actually, there are. There are, but I suppose you're relying entirely on
Lysander.
Yeah, Lysanders, and it's generally not sustainable. Like
Yeah.
she's already discarded 2, so she'd need like 3 versus Seekers purely for that. So yeah,
I really think that Galvantula might be her best option here, because a Jolteon can't actually one-hit a Galvantula.
No,
With a
it
Fighting
can't.
Fury Belt, it will hit 80 damage, which is 10 short of knocking out the 90 HP Galvantula. So she can actually get off 2 double threads, knock out the Shaman and the bench Jolteon.
That's really good actually.
And she's got an EXP share on the Joltik, so even if this active Xerneas gets knocked out, that Joltik's going to benefit from that EXP share. So we could potentially see a really big turn if she can top deck something on the next turn. So
yeah, and then potentially you've just got that
one
Voltorb, and which is absolutely not difficult to knock out. Yeah, so you can actually see a road 6 prizes. Yeah,
so,
even without knocking out this Jolteon.
Yeah, so
Jolteon, that is.
Joseph perhaps seeing that, going for a Raikou, because really the Galvantula is the main threat at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's not really a case of necessarily preventing damage, it's just about getting knockouts as quickly as possible. And because we can see, say without Raikou, even if Emma didn't draw anything for many turns, she could just stall with Genesect and.
She forgot to activate the EXP share.
Yeah, probably would have wanted to do that.
Yeah,
it does say May, so it's one of those unfortunate things where if you make a mistake, you can't.
I think Joseph allows her to take that back. Very kind, and she's got a VS Seeker. All right, so here we go. We're obviously going to be Sycamoring here.
Yeah, so now we're in business.
Yeah, now we're in business. Could see a huge swing here. So that one prize off that Electrode Buzzap Thunder actually keeps her in the game. Because as you said, there are 5 prizes on the board which you can very easily take.
Giving your opponent prizes can sometimes come back to haunt you.
Yeah, and it means that if she can deal with that Raikou, then it'll just be the Jolteon on the bench and the Shaman, which she needs to knock out to win the game. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. We see contemplating putting down Xerneas Break. That's not going to be used as much for its attack as it is just getting extra HP. So the regular Xerneas has 120 HP. Xerneas Break has 150 HP. So it's a nice additional 30 HP. That could save it from being one-hit KO'd by, say, a Raikou at some point.
Yeah.
But again, as we sort of talked about, Galvantula is probably going to be the ideal sort of attack at this point. But yeah, it's absolutely useful in conjunction with Lysander to get these knockouts.
And of course, it gets around
that's the thing. It gets around Flash Rate.
Yeah.
So we're talking about does she play Pokemon Ranger?
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's even better.
Yeah.
You've got a Pokemon that isn't a basic; it's a break.
Yeah.
So that's probably the simplest way around it.
Yeah. So that is a huge card for Emma, and actually, I'm really liking her position right now with that, because that Xerneas Break is going to hopefully be able to deal with one Jolteon. And then from there, if she's able to deal with the active Jolteon, then it becomes much easier for her to see her path to victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as that's going to be harder to be one KO'd by a Raikou. So Raiku's going to need 5 energy on it just to knock it out. You're going to think that's pretty difficult if Joseph can't get a Buzzap Thunder off, which would give Emma another prize.
Yeah.
So probably going to need to get sort of lucky with max elixirs.
Yeah, so Joseph actually has to end himself to 3 here to try and disrupt Emma. His board's not too bad, but he's got a heavily damaged Jolteon and the Shaman, which are 2 free prizes. Of course, from Joseph's point of view, his path to victory is to knock out one Shaman and maybe one Xerneas Break or the Joltik. So he's not too far away either.
Yeah, so we could really see anything at this point.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's going to be unlikely that Joseph's going to take a prize this turn. Probably impossible.
Yeah.
So again, that 80 damage really isn't doing much. It's not even threatening a knockout the following turn on that Genesect. So Emma can really stall for as long as she wants. And she's got that Volcanion as well, which is another 180 HP damage soaker that could come up. So we see a max elixir. So if she drew say supporter, you think probably going to get it. But of course you can't max elixir onto Xerneas Break. Yeah. So it's interesting. There are certain aspects of the deck that are sort of made for it, but others that aren't.
But she has a double colorless, so here we go. This is going to be a big turn. I know she's got a Lysander in hand, so I think this would be the turn where I would really go after the Shaman. If you can't one-hit KO the active, or would you try and 2-hit KO the active?
Yeah, or if you're going to Lysander, you could Lysander the bench Jolteon.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what she does here. She's got a VS Seeker, so I guess she maybe even take out the Raikou, because her Xerneas Break can't get one-shotted by anything on Joseph's board except for the Raikou.
Yeah.
So, and she needs to take one prize at some point off something.
Yeah, but I think wouldn't have enough damage to knock out
Thanks to the Thunder ones.
And the fighting Fury Belt. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's quite a tank. Yeah. So you need to 180 damage
80.
effectively to knock it out.
Yeah, I see.
So it doesn't play the versus Suko.
No. Just hits into the active, which is not a bad play.
Oh yeah, hitting into the active, because you can just two-shot this.
Yeah.
You'd be in a pretty good position.
And from Joseph's point of view, he really has to deal with the Xerneas break. I think this turn probably, if he can.
Yeah, because he's got those 2 energy on the Raikou, so he'll need 3 more.
Yeah. So
the question is, can he do it without a Buzz-Up Thunder?
Yeah. So he Sycamores here. I think he's probably going to be digging for that Electrode and the energy. He's got a Max Elixir, I see. And an energy. He's got an Ultra Ball, I believe. So he Max Elixirs here.
Yeah, so with an Ultra Ball, it could theoretically Ultra Ball for another Shaman, give him another chance to draw into that Max Elixir.
Yep. Or even Electrode.
Yeah, or Ultra Ball for an Electrode and accept it. Yeah, give up that prize.
So yeah, I think... I think if he deals with the Xerneas break on this turn, I think he'll be favoured. Purely because Emma only has the Joltik with 1 energy on it. And it'll be hard for her to power up another Xerneas. And then her Jolteons can just flash. His Jolteons can just flash right away. It's actually a really interesting matchup. There's a lot of factors.
And that's Xerneas break is so crucial.
Yeah.
Because without it, you're relying on all these sort of shenanigans like attacking with Galvantula, as we mentioned, which isn't bad, but is situational. It does rely on your opponent having Shaman, damage the X's on the bench that we're able to damage before they can Flash Ray. So it's not sort of like, you kind of think it's not a viable long-term strategy, but with that break, you can just say, well...
Alright, so here we see the Electrode come down, so Joseph definitely going to Buzz-Up Thunder onto that Raikou with the 3 energy on it.
So we saw him in anticipation, attaching another energy to a different Raikou, knowing he only needs 5. In this case...
So
both of them with full prices left at this point, but of course Joseph's going to be taking one this turn, so we'll be able to just get his nose in front.
Yeah. So this is going to come down to N, I think. I think Emma needs to play N on the next turn, and hopefully she finds a Galvantula. Oh no, Joseph still got 3 prizes. I apologize. I thought he only had 2 to take after this turn. Okay, so she's got a bit of time here. And she only has 4 prizes to take, so I really think Galvantula's her win condition here. And she does play the N, going to N herself down to 4, and Joseph to 2, but of course Joseph's board state much better.
We're getting Joseph to 3.
Sorry, 3. Made the same mistake again. So yeah, of course Joseph's board state much better, so she really... What does she get? So she gets another Xerneas down with an energy. But can't find anything else.
Okay.
So
and potentially without that Xerneas break anymore, she might have to find a Super Rod to get it back. Assuming she only plays 1.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be odd for someone to play 2 in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So without that, not going to be able to knock out Jolteons.
Yeah.
But
someone's just bumped our camera.
Enjoy a slightly tilted rest of this game.
Apologise for that.
A few degrees.
All right, so Jolteon, Joseph recognizing Xerneas as the main threat on Emma's board, and he will just Lysander and KO that. Now he's just a Lysander away from KOing either the Genesect or the Shaman to win the game. And from Emma's point of view here, it's pretty tough because, simple Lysander from Jolteon will win the game.
Yeah, so you think you'd need something like Xerneas, Max Elixir, double Colorless, and then a few more bench Pokemon to then knock out that Raikou. Yeah. Anything short of that is probably not.
So she finds a Galvantula, probably a little bit too late now, because that Raikou is just going to be able to one-hit it.
Yeah.
So
and it's not going to be able to get 2 consecutive attacks.
Although. So she chooses double thread the Shaman. I don't think it really matters whether she double threads the Shaman or the Jolteon at this point. Let's see if Joseph has a Lysander for game. If not, I'm sure I'll just be content just attacking into the Galvantula.
We even see Delinquent in his hand, but I'm not sure how many cards Emma has in her hand at the moment. But yeah, Delinquent, very interesting card. So you can, one thing you can counter Skyfield. But yeah, also just you can delinquent your opponent's 0, and yeah, that can be very, very powerful. Some of our videos from the previous League Challenge demonstrate the power of delinquent.
Yeah, so just a Thunder Lance there, takes down the Galvantula, and from here, I think Emma's out of the game here at this point.
Yeah, so it was really more of a game of sort of not really drawing anything from Emma's side, rather than sort of like, theoretically, you think the attackers would match up in a way that would actually, with Xerneas Break, would actually favour Rainbow Road. But it wasn't. Yeah, it's not obviously the case if you can't draw into any of them, and you can't draw into the resources that you need. So from a moot point, if you say, well, my attackers are theoretically sort of better and match up better, especially when you consider Electrode giving up prizes.
And she's actually going to Lysander a Jolteon here, and then knock it out with Umbreon's first attack.
There's so much glare in that I couldn't even tell it was an Umbreon. It was a surprise. It came out of the shadows. It was the opposite. It came out of the light.
Actually, that first attack, it does 10 damage, I believe, and it allows you to discard as many cards as you have in your hand.
It does 20. Yeah.
Discard as many cards as you want from your hand and draw that many from your deck, which you chose not to do. And we see Joseph just one-hit it with that huge Raikou. So, an interesting matchup. It'll be interesting to see if Emma's Hooper was prized, because I think that was a huge
that was that one turn where she'd been able to get that one-hit knockout of Jolteon. It would have been a lot different. And also just, that sort of dead drawing sort of in the middle of to the end of the game, which had that Xerneas Break and would have had the ability to knock out Jolteon.
But of course, part of that could probably put down to Joseph's Silent Lab, which shut off any Shaman to be able to draw out of that.
And there is that disruption. So in addition to sort of the idea that, you want to get out attackers really quickly and you want to attack as fast as possible, Joseph's deck really has an element of disruption to it. We saw those Enhanced Hammers, we saw the Delinquent, we've seen the Silent Lab. So because it's sort of a relatively simple deck, it can potentially be overpowered by decks that are sort of stronger than it and that don't give up prizes in the same way the Electrode does. So where you're going to get that comparative advantages with these cards, these disruption cards like Liquid, Silent Lab.
So it'll be interesting to see if Joseph goes with the same strategy in Game 2 to keep Flash Raying, now knowing that Emma does play the Xerneas Break. So that could come down at any point and just one-hit a Jolteon EX.
Well, I mean, the cat's out of the box. So it's interesting because he is aware of that. We might see him focus on
Raikou this game. Because fortunately the math works out well for Joseph in that 3 energy attached to a Raikou and a Fighting Fury Belt will one-shot a Xerneas.
But it'll need 5 to knock out the break version.
So, and someone's messing with our camera again.
I hope you're not CC.
Alright, so, okay, really both get ideal starters here. Joseph with the Jolteon and Emma with the Joltik, which has free retreat. So she attaches a double colorless. Interesting decision knowing that Joseph plays Enhanced Hammer.
It's interesting. There is sort of that situation where sometimes you can't really hold out.
But she had the option to attach a Fairy Energy.
Absolutely, so she did. I'm not sure that last card, the last 2 cards is, it can depend. Sometimes you sort of force play these cards out, but other times you can sort of work around it. Other times you might even want to discard the DC in favour of attaching Fairy Energy, which normally obviously wouldn't want to do, but in anticipation of that Enhanced Hammer, it could be sort of tough. And she doesn't know how many Enhanced Hammer Joseph plays.
Exactly.
The usual count for these decks is usually 2. It's always always the magic number for Enhanced Hammer. Sort of more than that, and you're getting sort of diminishing returns. But you're gonna, so I think.
So she Ultra Balls and gets a Volcanion. So this makes me think that she doesn't play the Hooper EX.
You think that it's unlikely unless it was surprising in both games. Hooper can be really good, and you can get both Volcanion and a Shaman and another X like that. Genesis.
So she Max Elixirs and misses. Probably going to miss about 50% of your Max Elixirs with the Rainbow Road deck. So you usually play 8 to 9 and basic energy.
You're not going to see as high a success rate as you will with Joseph's, which is just pure basic energy, in addition to that Electrode.
So, she just passes. She's got a bunch of energy in hand, a Sycamore and a Versus Seeker, so she doesn't want to Sycamore away more energy.
Interesting that she's leaving the Joltik up active, because that can be knocked out by Jolteon. However, that means that Jolteon's going to be a sitting duck for Xerneas, so that could be a perfectly acceptable trade. You can even say it's almost like a trap, letting your opponent knock it out so that it can be retaliated against. say if Joseph, is committing an energy onto this one, if he were to knock out the Jolteon, and then that Jolteon were to go down, he'd struggle to get a backup attacker without using Electrode, then it'd be 3 prizes down, and you'd think that from there.
It's interesting, isn't it?
So is this even worth it for Joseph to take this prize? That's interesting.
Yeah, and it obviously stops his ace trainers from being effective.
Yes, absolutely.
Thunders and everything like that. So, and Joseph ends there. Yeah,
so for those who don't know, Ace Trainer, when you're behind in prizes, that's the only time you can play it. But when you do, you shuffle your hand to your deck, draw 6 cards, and your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck, and they draw 3 cards. So it's sort of like a very specific end.
Yeah.
So there are certain instances where it's better than end, and obviously there are instances where it's worse than end, either when you can't play it or whether your opponent will be drawing less cards with end.
Yep. And Joseph's deck can really abuse it because you can control how many prizes your opponent has by blowing up an Electrode. To make them force them to take a prize, so they go ahead.
And generally, these hand destruction cards are better early on in the game than later in the game, because later in the game, your opponent can play lots of cards down, so that when they have to shuffle their hand to the deck and draw cards, they're more likely to draw cards they need. You can play cards like Ultra Ball to thin out cards from your deck. Whereas when you're getting Ace Traded, say on the second turn, particularly if you went second, so you've only had 1 turn to play, getting Ace Traded for 3 cards can be devastating. You haven't had time, to play, get a lot of cards out of your deck.
So Joseph gets down a Fury Belt, which is pretty huge. It's going to mean that Jolteon is much harder to knock out for the Xerneas, particularly without the Hooper EX, which allows Emma to search out a bunch of EXs, or would allow Emma to search out a bunch of EXs. So he does take the prize on the Joltik, and fortunately, from Emma's point of view, no enhanced hammers came down on that turn.
Yeah, no, you have to think she'd be sweating there, because, that enhanced hammer can just ruin your day.
And she trainers mails here. She sees a Sycamore and a Versus Seeker, so probably just going to take the Sycamore, I would imagine, unless she's got another supporter which she'd want to play.
Yeah, so it's going to be a test of, this knockout is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
And so, can you get enough basics? So, of course, the way the math works out, going to need 7 basics.
7.
Because 6 just agonizingly falls that 10 damage short.
But again, with Galvantula, I don't think that's that bad, even if she falls 10 damage short.
Of course, that's true.
Because at some point, that Jolteon is going to hit the bench either through a Lysander from her or Joseph retreating into the Raikou to try and deal with a Xerneas break or something like that. So I think, 6 to 7 is probably the ideal number that she'd want to get. Ooh, she discards a Galvantula.
Yeah, well, she couldn't evolve it, so she had to say Sycamore. It would be discarded anyway.
Yeah.
So she'll need a Super Rod before she can get it back.
She'll need a Super Rod.
We should know what the line is that she plays with.
It's 2-1.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular line that you see. Sort of like a pyramid line.
Exactly.
Usually it tends to sort of in a derogatory manner, referring to like those theme decks. But so I mean, there is absolutely logic to playing 2-1. So it means that because Jolteon has free retreats, it's a good starter, and it counts as say a lightning basic. So if you played 1-1, you might not be able to even get out the Galvantula, which counts as 2 types.
Yeah. Okay, so she's got 5 types on her bench, which is 160. She really would like to find a Skyfield and 1 more type, I think. And she does Super Rod this turn.
Ooh, that's very important.
Yeah.
Although it does mean that, she might only have access to 1 attack with Galvantula, if that Galvantula, when it does attack, gets knocked out by a follow Raikou.
Yeah.
So that does limit potentially the
and a great turn there
ability of Galvantula to take prizes.
So she cleans Sycamore for 7, looking for a Fairy Energy, obviously, which she finds. And she's got an EXP share as well, which is great from her point of view.
Yeah, so, and it's interesting to see sort of what all of the energy conservation acceleration cards that Rainbow Road plays. So, of course, we see Max Elixir. Some lists we see play Fighting Fury Belt sort of instead of EXP share, so they say, well, I'm going to try and survive an extra turn and maybe do a bit of extra damage at the consequence of not being able to conserve energy as much. But I think we're increasingly seeing lists just favour EXP share. Because even with 160 HP, that's not something you can rely on to not get knocked out. So I think it's better to take that worst case scenario, play HP share instead, and conserve your energy.
And she does 160.
So 160, that's that sort of, not enough for Galvantula to be able to attack once and knock it out. So you're going to need to see really 2 Galvantulas to knock that Shaman out. But of course, once she's already played a Super Rod, that means probably only have access to 1 Galvantula, which is not going to be able to get to attack so most likely.
So, a bit unfortunate there. Yeah, she's left in a tough position whether to bench that extra Xerneas or discard it and hope to find another type. in case she didn't find the Skyfield, which she didn't. So tough decision. And we'll see what Joseph prioritizes here, whether he will just Flash Ray, knowing that Xerneas break can come down, or whether he will try and power up a Raikou. Oh, we see a big Parallel City there, so that is one of the reasons why this Rainbow Road deck doesn't see a huge amount of play, is that Parallel City does a number on it, restricting the bench to 3, and therefore restricting the damage output of Rainbow Force. So a great Parallel City there from Joseph. So he's running a mixed stadium line of Silent Labs and Parallel Cities.
Yeah, and both disruptive. So and the irony is the Parallel Cities actually used more often to limit your own bench to 3, get rid of Shamans. But in against these sort of decks, so the other one being Mega Rayquaza, so it's sort of the sister deck of Rainbow Road in terms of getting lots of basics on your bench in order to do damage. Yeah, Parallel City really does a number on those decks, limiting them to 3 bench Pokemon. Really cast that damage output. So yeah, Rainbow Force in this case is going to be limited to just 130 damage.
So Joseph actually knocks out one Electrode and powers up the Raikou, so he'll be able to take a knockout onto the active Xerneas. But I think this, he didn't get a Fighting Fury Belt onto that Raikou.
No, he didn't. And so it's only got an effective HP of 140 because of that ability. So, yeah, it is vulnerable.
Yeah, so 5 types. And we haven't seen a Skyfield come down from Emma, so you'd have to say, usually Rainbow Road decks run 3 to 4, so fairly likely she'll be able to bump that Parallel City and hopefully get 2 more types onto the bench. So she will be able to deal with the active Raikou. So this will be a big draw from Emma's end. And what does she get? See a Floatstone there. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of colour there, so I don't think she hit very many Pokemon.
No. Looks like a lot of
double colourless.
Yeah.
I think she's got 2 double colourless in hand, which is really unfortunate. So she Floatstones and chooses to just try and protect her only attacker, which you can definitely understand why.
Yeah, absolutely. So, because that attacker, the following turn, might be able to get a knockout, but here it can't. So. And that Raikou's not going to be able to knock out Volcanion unless we see...
Unfortunately,
we just see a
huge Lysander. So
that's a
Joseph, that was a huge play, and he manages to get the knockout, wiping off all the energy from Emma's board. So
it's just one of those awkward situations where you have all this energy in your hand, but you can't actually attach them to places where you want to.
Yeah, I think she has to end here because...
it has an end, so that's good at least.
Yeah, she had the Versus Seeker, so I think she's forced to end. She doesn't want to discard another double colourless.
Yeah, absolutely. The saving grace is that, Joseph might struggle to knock this out, so if she just has, one turn reprieve, she could definitely come back.
And he's only got, really, the energy on his active Raikou. He's got one on the bench Jolteon, but that's pretty heavily damaged, so, as you say, Joseph's board's not as good as he would like it to be. He'd probably like a few more energy on the board, but he does have that Voltorb to get access to 2 energy whenever he wants.
Assuming you can draw the Electrode.
Assuming, yeah. So, I again don't see a whole lot from Emma off that N to 5. What can she get off the Trainer's Mail? A Sycamore? Not bad. But Joseph only has 3 prizes remaining, so knock out one of the X's on her board and then maybe a Xerneas if she ever manages to power one up.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunately not looking too great for Emma at this stage. And Joseph's probably just going to keep Thunder Lancing to his heart's content. And so Emma uses the first attack of Umbreon.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not going to do any damage because of the ability on Raikou, which prevents damage done to it if it has a lightning energy by 20. So, so the first attack of Umbreon means you discard as many cards as you like from your hand, but then you draw that many cards. Commensurate with the amount that you discarded.
Yeah.
So, it does do 20 damage, but unfortunately, in this case, won't do anything. We do set up Buzz Up Thunder from Joseph, so he's going to have the 170 damage attack with 6 energy to knock out that Umbreon. And at this point, honestly, this turn, that Raikou's is probably going to need to go down.
Yeah, so Emma would need to find a lot here. She'd need to find 5 types on her bench. Oh, there's a Hooper.
Oh, the fabled Hooper.
Yeah.
It makes an appearance.
Yeah, wow.
It may have been prized.
Yeah, it may have been prized in both games. It's not impossible.
It has taken 2 prizes, so it might have might have come out of the prizes.
And only one EX left in
Yeah,
those decks.
so not getting the full mileage, although with Parallel City might not have been able to get the full mileage anyway. But yeah, we'll need probably a Xerneas and a Fairy Energy from a Max Elixir and a DCE.
Yeah.
But if she could get off this knockout, because again, Joseph didn't get that fighting through knock, so she's only going to need five types.
Yeah. I think she really has to Sycamore here. She needs to draw as many cards.
Yeah, I feel like it's less about sort of disrupting Joseph as it is just getting the knockout. Because if you can knock out this Raikou, he really doesn't have much at all. He would struggle to, attack with anything.
Yeah, so she actually has to end here. Maybe she had some energy which she didn't want to discard or couldn't afford to discard or something like that. I'm not too sure how many energies she's got left in her deck. Can't be many.
Yeah, it's quite possible. Yeah, so you just can't afford to Sycamore.
Yeah.
So you can take your chances. I mean, the saving grace with it is that, say, if she draws a non-EX that she can sacrifice.
So that way
Joseph doesn't sort of win the game immediately, so she has one more turn.
Joseph just needs an energy, which he gets off the top, and that's the game. So, great game from both players.
Both players. Really interesting game. Sort of interesting, decks, the way they interacted. It's cool to see Electrode. Don't say heaps of that.
Absolutely. It's one of the few decks to come out of the Evolution set, is this Raikou Electrode deck, so really good to see it on display. And congratulations for Joseph on winning his round 1 game. And don't forget to subscribe, click that like button, comment. We always appreciate constructive criticism and feedback. So, thanks guys. We'll see you in the next round. Cheers.